If you haven't subscribed to WWE Express yet, please hit that subscribe button right now because we're about to break down one of the most significant management decisions in recent WWE history. Triple H has finally spoken out after Femi's absolutely dominant destruction of Brock Lesnar, and what he's saying could reshape the entire power structure of WWE. Let's get into it. For weeks, the wrestling world has been waiting for Triple H to make his position clear. Femi has been on an incredible surge, becoming one of the most talked about rising stars in the company. His physicality, his presence, his undeniable athleticism have made him impossible to ignore. And then came that match with Brock Lesnar. When Femi dismantled one of the most dominant forces WWE has ever seen, it sent shockwaves through the entire industry. Everyone was left wondering what Triple H would do in response. Now we finally have answers, and they're absolutely fascinating. Triple H's response is crucial because it signals the direction WWE is heading. As the chief content officer, his vision shapes everything that happens on television. When he speaks, it matters. When he makes statements about where the company is investing its future, fans, wrestlers, and analysts all pay attention. The fact that he's choosing to address this situation publicly means it's significant. It means WWE is making a statement about where they see the future of their product heading. What makes Femi's victory over Brock Lesnar so impactful is what it represents symbolically. Brock Lesnar has been positioned as an almost mythical figure in professional wrestling. His matches carry a different weight than other matches. When Lesnar steps into the ring, there's an assumption that he's going to dominate. He's been built as someone who operates on a different level athletically than most wrestlers. That's what makes Femi's complete shutdown of him so shocking. It's not just a victory. It's a statement that the old guard is giving way to the new wave. Triple H has always been about evolution and progression. He spent his entire career understanding how to elevate talent, how to build stars, and how to maintain the overall integrity of the product. So his response to Femi's emergence is incredibly telling. If Triple H is publicly acknowledging what happened and positioning it as significant, it means WWE sees something special in Femi. It means they're not treating this as a random upset. They're treating it as a turning point. The backstage dynamics that led to this statement are worth considering. Triple H would have had conversations with multiple people about how to handle the situation. He would have discussed it with talent relations, with other creative minds, with people who understand the broader implications of what happened. These aren't decisions made in isolation. They're made with careful consideration of everything they could impact. When Triple H finally speaks publicly, it's the culmination of all those conversations. One of the most interesting aspects of Triple H's position is the balance he has to maintain. He needs to protect Femi's newfound momentum while also respecting what Brock Lesnar represents to the company. You can't completely diminish a star of Lesnar's caliber just to elevate someone new. That would damage both of them. So Triple H's statement probably walks a careful line. It acknowledges Femi's incredible performance while also explaining that Brock Lesnar remains a formidable presence. It positions the outcome as a genuine upset rather than as evidence that Lesnar is falling off. This is where creative storytelling comes into play at the highest level of WWE management. Triple H understands that professional wrestling is about narratives. One match doesn't erase Brock Lesnar's legacy, but one dominant performance can launch someone's career into the stratosphere. So the question becomes, how do you tell both stories simultaneously? How do you celebrate Femi's win while maintaining Lesnar's credibility? That's what Triple H's statement is designed to address. Looking at what this means for Femi going forward is essential. If Triple H is publicly endorsing his dominance over Brock Lesnar, it means WWE is serious about building him as a main event player. We're not talking about someone who's going to be in mid-card battles for the next 2 years. We're talking about someone who's being positioned for the absolute top of the card. Femi is being told, essentially, that WWE sees him as the future. That kind of public endorsement from Triple H carries enormous weight. The implications for championship pictures across WWE are significant. Is Femi now being positioned for a world title push? Does he challenge for major championships? Does he become one of the cornerstones of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown? These decisions flow from the kind of statement Triple H is making. When the chief content officer publicly acknowledges someone's dominance, it usually precedes major pushes. It's a signal to the entire company about where resources are being invested. There's also the matter of what this means for the locker room perception. Other wrestlers are watching how Femi is being treated. They're paying attention to whether WWE is truly committed to building him or if this is just a momentary acknowledgement. Triple H's public statement removes any doubt. It tells the entire roster that Femi is a priority. It tells veterans that they need to take him seriously. It tells younger wrestlers that if they can reach his level of performance, they too will be recognized and elevated. The broader implications for WWE's competitive landscape are fascinating. If Femi is being positioned as a top-tier player, it changes how other wrestlers have to approach their careers. Champions have to be concerned about facing him. Rising stars have to prove they can compete with his level of athleticism and dominance. The entire ecosystem shifts when a new player emerges at this level. Triple H's statement essentially tells everyone that this shift is real and permanent. One thing to consider is how Brock Lesnar responds to all of this. Does he take this as motivation? Does he seek redemption? Does his character evolve because of this loss? These are the kinds of decisions that make wrestling narratively compelling. Lesnar could come back angrier, more focused, and more dangerous. Or he could step back and allow the younger generation to move forward. Either way, Triple H's statement about the significance of what Femi accomplished influences the entire direction. The timing of Triple H's statement is also worth analyzing. Why now? What prompted him to finally speak publicly about this situation? Was it the intensity of fan discussion? Was it internal conversations with Femi about his future? Was it a response to criticism about the decision to book him against Lesnar in the first place? Triple H is strategic about when he makes public statements. He doesn't do it randomly. This timing means something. What's particularly interesting is how Triple H is framing this narrative. Is he positioning it as the inevitable rise of a new star? Is he suggesting that Femi earned this moment through hard work and dedication? Is he explaining the logic behind the booking decision? These nuances matter because they set the tone for how the audience should perceive what happened. Triple H is essentially guiding fan perception through his public statement. The respect angle is important here too. Triple H has built his career on respecting the business of professional wrestling. When he makes statements, he's usually careful to acknowledge the work that goes into matches and performances. So his acknowledgement of Femi's victory against Brock Lesnar probably includes recognition of the effort and skill involved. It's not dismissing what Lesnar accomplished in the past. It's recognizing that Femi performed at an exceptional level on this particular night. Looking forward, this statement from Triple H essentially closes the chapter on whether Femi's victory was a fluke or a legitimate turning point. He's made it clear that WWE views it as the latter. That means we should expect to see Femi in increasingly important matches and programs. We should expect to see him featured prominently on major shows. We should expect to see the company invest in his development as a top-tier performer. The psychology of professional wrestling at the highest level is about managing expectations and building towards significant moments. Triple H's statement about Femi destroying Brock Lesnar is part of that psychology. It's WWE telling the world that they believe in this wrestler. It's them signaling that they're committed to his success at the main event level. And it's them preparing the audience for what comes next in his journey. This is exactly the kind of behind-the-scenes storytelling that makes WWE fascinating. It's not just about what happens in the ring. It's about how management responds, how they position events, and how they guide the narrative. Triple H's statement is all of those things combined. It's a masterclass in professional wrestling management and storytelling. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into what Triple H's statement means for Femi and the future of WWE, please make sure you're subscribed to WWE Express. We break down these kinds of narratives every single day, exploring the psychology, the strategy, and the storytelling that makes professional wrestling so captivating. Subscribe now and join thousands of wrestling fans who appreciate the art form. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on WWE Express.